everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Gemma Anne Barnes. I'm a vocal coach and singing teacher. In this video, I'm going to help you find your ideal posture and alignment for when you're singing and help you understand why alignment is important in singing. Now, first, before we begin, what does alignment mean? Well, quite simply, alignment is how the head, shoulders, spine, hips, knees and feet line up with each other. So, make sure you've got a bit of space, let's get aligned. So we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. So starting at the feet, generally you want your feet sort of around hip width apart. Obviously it will vary for different people, you might want to take them a little bit wider, you might want to take them a little bit more narrow. It's completely up to you. Once you've sort of found that comfortable width apart, I just want you to rock side to side, and forward and back as well, sort of on your heels, on your toes, just to find that middle. You can do some circles, whatever you need to do, rocking around just to find that middle area, that middle place, that sweet spot where you feel grounded and you feel centered. Okay, now let's move on to our knees. Now, a common thing is that you lock your knees back. Now, we absolutely don't want to do that because if you see, as soon as you lock those knees back, your pelvis, your hips get thrown back and it's going to throw everything out of alignment. So I just want you to bend those knees, just bouncing your knees and feel that relaxation. Now, slow the bounces down, make them smaller and just come to a stop where it's sort of in a comfortable, if I just turn on the side, sort of comfortable, slightly relaxed knees. I'm not locked back, but I'm not completely bent. I'm just sort of released. Yeah, you want your knees to be released so that you're not holding any tension in your thighs or anywhere else. So that's our feet, our knees. Now let's move up to our hips. Now your hips and your pelvis are a big one because you can swing these forward and back. So first, I just want you to do exactly that. Poke your bum out, and then tilt your pelvis the other way. Tilt, 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 yeah? We don't want it going too much that way because if you do that, you can feel your glutes have tensed and you've thrown your alignment forward a bit. If you're poking your bum backwards, then you can feel that your spine is crushed there at the bottom. There's a huge arc in your back there. You just want it in a nice sort of neutral position, sort of heading down to the ground. You do that, you've got a wonderful alignment already between your feet, your knees and your hips. It's a good start. Now let's move on to our spine. The spine naturally has a bit of curvature to it. So don't worry too much about getting a completely flat back. We don't need it to be completely flat like as though we're against a wall because then we're going to be throwing the hips forward and other things come out of alignment. So you will have a slight dip in your spine. Don't panic, that's fine. What we want to make sure we don't have is this massive curve at the bottom or this rounded curve at the top. So it helps if you think about your feet, your knees, your hips, they're done, they're in alignment. Now think about putting your shoulders on top of that. We don't want to pull our shoulders so far back that then we're pushing our rib cage out. But we want our shoulders to sort of be slightly back and down generally, depending on how open this area is. Now there's a couple of really good exercises actually that you can do for this. If you've got a wall, an edge of a wall, you can put your hand at a right angle on that wall and slightly turn away. That's going to stretch this front area out a little bit. Because the time we spend sort of on phones or on computers, we can get quite rounded, which we don't want to do. We want it nice and open. Because then we're also going to be able to expand our lungs well as well. So get those shoulders down. We don't want them raised up. We don't want them forward. Keep them nice and back. In fact, you can now, if you want to, just put your hands just to stretch out this front part and drop them down. Do a couple of shoulder rolls backwards. And then you should hopefully feel nice and open in the shoulder area. And there we go, we should be hopefully nice and aligned. Shoulders, hips, knees, feet. That's going to help your spine. So now let's go to the top of the spine and I'm going to group together the head, neck and chin because they all play a big part in the position together. So I've come a little bit closer so that you can see exactly what my head, neck and chin are doing. So you want to make sure that your neck is nice and straight. So if I just turn on the side, you want a nice long neck, a bit of space between your shoulders and your head. You don't want any scrunching, but this should be okay because we've already done a little bit of shoulder work. We've looked at our shoulders. So I want you to imagine you've got a piece of string on the top of your head. So it's in the middle of the top of your head. You've got a piece of string going upwards. This piece of string, don't think of it too much. This isn't ballet. You don't have to think of it pulling you up. You don't need to be straight like a board, but you just want to feel that sense of liftedness and that sense of space. With your chin, the last thing you want happening is jutting forward for notes, because see what that's done? Instantly my head and neck are out of alignment, all because of this. So make sure your chin is in. You don't want to be tilting down, you don't want to be going up too much. You want to be keeping it as neutral as possible. If you're relying on head tilts to reach certain notes, then you're not letting your vocal cords and your larynx do the work. There's something funny going on with these muscles and you might get tension, which we absolutely don't want. We don't want any tension in this area. We don't want any tension in the body, but especially around here. So keep everything nice and straight, nice and lifted, nice and open, yeah? If you find yourself jutting your chin forward or your head forward or whatever, watch yourself in the mirror. Practice singing in the mirror. Practice your alignment. You want your head, neck, shoulders, spine, hips, knees and feet nicely lined up with each other. This isn't something to stress about, but it is something to be aware of. Doing a quick check before you sing is going to make sure that your body is aligned and that you're not holding any unwanted tension. Tension anywhere in the body can have a negative effect on the voice and cause it to tense up, which we absolutely don't want it to do. We want to allow the larynx and the muscles around it to work effectively. And by being in alignment, we allow it to do just that. Alignment is good for your body, your mind, and your voice. If you enjoyed this video, then hit like and subscribe to my channel for more singing related content. Thank you so much for watching and happy singing.